Hi everybody and welcome to the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen. My name's Laura and today I'm going to be showing you how to make cinnamon buns. So today I've decided to use one of the winter flavours, which is the apple crumble, just because it is new, one of the new flavours for winter, and I thought we could just mix the cinnamon up a bit. The apple crumble flavouring is a mix of apple and cinnamon, so it does work really nice with these buns. Just quickly show you while we're just waiting for people to join us. I'm just going to quickly show you on this camera some that I've already made. So if you just bear with me a moment. So these are the ones that I made yesterday. So because I made them yesterday, they have had a chance to obviously cool. And when I put the cream cheese frosting on this morning, the cream cheese frosting is not melted on them because they're cold. But these ones here are the ones that I've just got out of the oven this morning. Can you see those ones? Yeah. So as you can see, it looks very different, but I'm going to be decorating these ones today because of the stages that we've got to go through on waiting for the dough to rise. I have to do the different stages to show you and have them all prepared ready. So I'm just going to pop these out of the way. So we got some people joining us.
Yeah,
so
we've
far.
got a good audience building up. So good morning to everybody and thanks for joining us. We've got a few regular names, of course. Kat Riley, Lynn Burgess, Sue Murray, Beverly Hill, Alison Kane, Tina Pine. So morning to everybody. As we always say, we are in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen environment. So nothing here is for sale. Everything's prepared and is eaten by personal choice. Nothing goes to waste though, I can assure you.
Definitely not.
But yeah, nothing's for sale. So in terms of like Laura wearing gloves or a hairnet or anything like that, it's not required. It's a personal kitchen. If we've got anyone new joining us, it'd be really nice if you could introduce yourself and just comment on the feed. We're a really friendly bunch. And if you've got any questions that are relevant to today's Facebook Live, just pop it on and we'll try and get through them as we can. And if we do miss anyone, we'll try and come back to you once the feed's over.
Okay, thank you, Laura. So I forgot to say, joining me in the kitchen this morning is, of course, Office Laura, who's behind the camera, and then we've got Maria as well, who'll be filming behind me and trying to catch little snippets so that she can put it into the 1-minute video that you see on our Facebook pages. So, are we ready to get started? Is everyone? Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be working in the area here, but I'm also going to be working with the mixer to make the dough. So I'm just going to go through the ingredients that we're going to use before I move over to the mixer, just so you can see. So you're going to need 180 ml of milk. I've just used whole milk today. You can use semi-skimmed. I have made it in both and it hasn't really made any difference whatsoever. And I've just preheated it to 110 degrees. Now you can do that over a pan or you can do it in the microwave. I've done it in the microwave just for ease today because the hob's not central and you won't be able to see it. So I've got that ready there. So that's the first thing that we're going to be using. And then secondly, we're going to be using this fast action bread yeast. Now I've found when I've been making the cinnamon buns using different yeast, there's different ones. Some of them you have to activate the yeast. This one, it's just fast action. It doesn't matter. You don't have to activate it. You can just put it straight here in your bread flour, straight in your milk. You don't need to wait for it to do anything. It just works. So it is so much easier. And I bought them from Sainsbury's. I'm sure they do them in all the supermarkets, but I got them from Sainsbury's. So just to let you know that that's what I've used. So we've got those. So I'm going to pop them aside while I run through the other ingredients first. So I'm using it, like I said before, I'm making apple crumble cinnamon buns. So I'm using the apple crumble icing sugar. And then I'm going to be using an egg, full egg, and then the yolk from the other one. But later on, there's not going to be any waste with that egg white that I'm putting aside. I'm going to use that later to make something else. So we're using those. And then I've got 60 grams of butter, which I've just started to pre-melt there. So I've got that ready. And then I've got the bread flour, which is here. Now I find that using the bread flour does give the cinnamon buns that nice, soft, fluffy texture that you want when you're eating something like like bread, but dessert bread especially, so you get that more brioche type of bread that's more spongy. So that's what I'm going to be using, and you're going to need 450 grams of the bread flour and then a pinch of salt. So that's everything that we're going to be using. So I'm going to move over to the mixer, which I've just fitted here with the paddle to start off with. So I'm going to pour in, first of all, the warm milk. And then I'm going to add in the full packet of the bread yeast. And in the recipe it says 2 1/4 teaspoons, which is roughly 7 grams. So you're just going to sprinkle that over the top. So like I said, it's not the sort of yeast that you need to wait for it to foam or anything. It just activates itself. You don't need to wait for it to activate before you do anything else. So I'm just going to use the spatula just to give it a little mix in. Like that, just to coat it in the milk. Okay, so next into that I'm going to add in the melted butter. So I've part melted it already. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. And then I'm going to pour that in. And then, as I said before, I'm going to be using 1 whole egg. And then the egg yolk from the other one, but I'm going to reserve the egg white because I'm going to use it later on. So I'm just going to pop them in together. Okay, and we're going to put those, the whole egg and the egg yolk into the mix. And then the last thing we need is our apple crumble, which is going to be the flavouring. I should have pre-weighed it. I'm telling you I'm going over to the mixer and I haven't. So just need to grab another bowl. So we're just using 80 grams of the apple crumble icing sugar. Into the mixer, and then we're going to just start that on a medium mix just to get those ingredients incorporated. Okay, so next we need our bread flour, which I'm going to be using 450 grams. Just measure that out. So if your flour is new out the packet, as mine was only opened yesterday, you don't need to sieve it. But if you've had it stored for a while, then do give it a little sieve first just to make sure that no lumps come into it. So I'm not going to fit it all in this bowl. So I've got 350 there, I just need to measure out another 100 grams in a moment. Okay, so as you can see, we'll just give that a quick mix, and I'm going to change the beater head now to a dough hook, which I've got here. Now if you haven't got a dough hook, then you can do this next bit by hand, but it is just going to take a little bit longer to do. So I'm going to add in 350 grams of flour, and another 100 grams because it wouldn't fit in my bowl. So it's 450 grams altogether. Just put that out of the way. Now just use your spatula just to give it a little stir, just to stop any of that flour escaping when we turn it on. And we're going to leave the dough to combine for about 8 minutes. Sorry, just work on it. I'm just going to put that on medium, around 4 for 8 minutes. So you have to excuse the noise, I'll try and speak a bit louder. Okay, so while we're waiting for the dough, I'm just going to get ready with the next stage, which is need a large bowl, mixing bowl, doesn't matter if it's plastic or ceramic, you just need a big bowl, and you're going to pour in a tablespoon roughly of oil. I'm using vegetable oil, and you just need to get your fingers in. Can you see that all right? get your fingers in and just make sure that you're spreading that all the way around the bowl. Because when we put the dough in there, it's going to start to rise, as you'll see in a minute when I show you the one that I've already made. It does get pretty high, and we want to make sure that it's not sticking to the side. And we're just going to put that aside. You're going to need some cling film, and you're also going to need a tea towel that's warm. So by warm, it doesn't have to just come out the dryer. You can just pop your tea towel in the microwave for about 30 seconds when you're ready to take your dough out, because we're going to wrap it up, and that's just going to help with the proving and the rise of the dough. So we'll get that ready. So, as I said, the stages do take a little bit of time. So I have prepared one earlier, which is here, but I'm not going to show it you just yet. I'm just going to go through a few other things that we need to mention so that I can show you how the dough comes out and gets into the bowl. I'm just going to pop that aside for a few minutes. Is there any questions so far?
No, just a couple of people who didn't catch what we are making, but I think they have been answered. So we're making apple crumble flavoured cinnamon buns, as Laura said before. So this is the ones fresh out of the oven, which look absolutely gorgeous.
So yeah, as Laura just said, we're making apple crumble cinnamon buns today. It's a very easy recipe. It makes 9 cinnamon buns, which you can see packed in here nicely. I've just used a brownie tin there so that you can have them. You can bake them separately, which is how I did these other ones, but I do think that it looks quite nice all packed in together. So I am going to be showing you as well how to make a cream cheese frosting. The cream cheese frosting would normally go on while the cinnamon buns are still hot, so that's why these ones don't look like the cream cheese frosting's going anywhere. But later, when I show you how to make the cream cheese frosting, I'm just going to preheat these quickly again and then put that cream cheese frosting on so you can see the end result. So I'll run through the recipe just one more time. So you're using, in the recipe, the warm milk, 180ml, and I've used whole milk today. You can use semi-skimmed milk. Don't use skim though. Semi-skimmed or whole milk is fine. I've used the dried yeast, which is 2 1/4 teaspoons of the dried yeast, which I've used the bread yeast, which is this one. 80 grams of the apple and crumble icing sugar, but you don't have to do apple crumble. If you wanted to do something else, then you can of course try that. The apple crumble has cinnamon inside this icing sugar flavour, so it is a nice alternative for the cinnamon buns. It is a cinnamon bun and it's got cinnamon in it. We're just adding that extra apple flavour. And then 60 grams of melted butter, 1 whole egg, 1 egg yolk, and a pinch of salt. I didn't put in, but I will. Give me a second. I knew the recipe, but I haven't put it in. Sorry about this. Problems with being live. I'm just going to pop that round there and hopefully it'll be fine. I'm just going to pop that back on. So that's everything that we've used to make the actual dough. Okay, so other things that I need to tell you while we're still waiting for that dough, just got a couple more minutes, is that on Monday night we've got Suzanne Esper joining us, and she's going to be doing a demo of Evil Cake Genius stencils. Now if you want to find out a little bit more about Suzanne before Monday night, then you can find her at www.suzannespercakes.com and see other things that she's done, but that's Monday night at 8 o'clock. And then other things to tell you is the aprons and hoodies and t-shirts, they're back in stock. We are ordering more sizes. The sizes are quite a small fit, but we have ordered some different sizes so that hopefully we can get every size that everybody wants. So please bear with us. We're just waiting for those to come in, and we'll let you know when the bigger sizes are here. And do you want me to do that now? And we've got the drawer for the bake off. Turn that bit down, otherwise you won't hear who the winner is. So on Monday night we drew the winner, but it was a bit of a mix up and we're doing it again. So this is the winner from last week's Bake Off. So
Random draw.
What do they win? Is it the nozzle?
Right.
We'll find out what your prize is. So the winner is Jane Brown. So Jane Brown, if you're watching, you are the winner of last week's Bake Off.
Bring it towards. So
This one.
we've proved, yeah.
Can you see it?
There you go. Perfect. Thank you. Just so everybody knows that
yeah.
it's been drawn.
So there you go.
And that's
So it's
Jane's
Jane
name.
Brown. So congratulations, Jane, on winning last week's Bake Off. Sorry about the mix-up, but we'll find out what your prize is and we'll message you.
I'll get in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, Laura will get in touch with you. So just pop that aside so we don't forget. Okay, so we'll go back to our dough now, which you can see is coming together quite nicely. So it's going to be a little bit sticky, but as you can see, it's formed quite a nice dough. So this is why you need to have your bowl ready, because what you're going to do, I'll just take it off here. So just pull it off the best that you can off your hook. A little bit messy. It should still be a little bit sticky, so don't worry about that. Sorry. So all we're going to do is take it out of here the best that we can. If I can pick it up. So when you take it out, you just need to try and bring it back together a little bit. I'm holding it way too high again.
That's right.
So I don't want to put it on the top because I don't want it to stick.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to scoop out the remaining dough out of there. So like most things in baking, it's a little bit messy. Okay, so just going to knead it some little tiny bit in my hands just to try and bring back in the pieces that I've just scraped out of the bottom of the bowl. So you just want to give it a quick knead and then just kind of bring it into a nice little bowl. Pop it in to your bowl, and then as I said before, you need a warm tea towel. Where my tea towel's gone? Oh, it's over there. So 30 seconds in the microwave to warm your tea towel up, and that's just going to help prove the dough. So you just need to wrap this up tightly in some cling film, and then that's going to be put aside for an hour to an hour and a half, and we want it to have doubled in size. That's what we're looking for. I'll just stretch that out. Grab my tea towel. And just wrap the tea towel over the top, like that, round the sides. And then you just need to put that somewhere in a warmish sort of area. So not near an open door and it's freezing outside, just somewhere warm. So ideally in the kitchen, just pop it on the side. We're just going to put that over there. And as for the power TV, here's one I made earlier. So I got up this morning and I made this one to make sure that we had one ready for this next stage. So after an hour and a half, this is roughly what you're looking at. So it's doubled in size, got nice height, nice rise, and that's exactly what we want. So we're just going to grab a little bit of flour, and we just need to dust your surface. I find it's just better to work directly on your worktop, so just make sure that it's clean and dry before you start. And then we're going to pop out our dough. So because we oiled it, it is going to be slightly oily at the bottom, so if you just put a little bit more flour on the top there. So we're just going to give it another quick knead and a little bit of flour. You see that? I'll write my too far.
No, it's okay.
Too close.
It's time.
Just can't get it right. So when you're doing this at home, no one's ever watching you.
You don't have to worry about the cameras
No,
and if you're in the right angle or anything like that, do you?
Okay, so what we're going to do next is just leave that aside a second while we get our filling ready. So just bear with me one moment while I wash my hands, and I'll just get the filling.
Christine Simmons, I'm not sure if you're new to the Sugar and Crumbs Facebook tutorial, but we did mention at the start that this is a personal kitchen. None of the items that we're making are for sale or consumption by anyone else other than anyone who's here, which is me, myself, Laura and Maria. And if we choose to eat it, then obviously that's up to us. It's just a personal home kitchen. So just in relation to your comment about nail varnish, I completely understand where you're coming from, and under normal hygiene circumstances, if it was a professional shop or a business, I completely understand where you're coming from. So hopefully that's cleared it up for you.
Yeah, so everything that we do in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen is just to show you at home what you can do at home. So if you're at home, you wouldn't be with your hairnet on unless you was a business like Laura said. You'd just be at home as you are baking. So that's what we're doing today. We're just trying to do these free tutorials.
Covered yourself in flour.
This is why it happens at home. Free tutorials. My nail varnish is a gel, so it's not going to come off. So you won't see any bits in this. But as Laura said, this is just going to be eaten by my family, by the girls, and the staff in the office and warehouse. So this is just for us to show you and give you ideas. So I've just popped in the melted butter. So you need 60 grams of melted butter for the filling, which is just beeping now. And then you're going to need a rolling pin, which I've got here, a little brush to spread your butter, and then we need our icing sugar again, which I've lost. No, it's here. We've got our Crumble icing sugar. Just need to grab some bowls. And this is exactly how I work at home. I'm a bit messy, a bit all over the place, forgetting what I'm doing, but it's just normal. Okay, so I'm going to use to fill in the butter. Did you just bring the butter over? Maria's bringing the butter over. So we're going to use 50 grams of dark brown sugar, which I'm just going to pop in there.
I know it's totally my fault, Karen. I was supposed to bring Laura one of the new aprons, and unfortunately I completely forgot, so I will take the blame for that today. I do apologise.
Yeah. I did say when I got here, I can't wait to put on my new apron. And they were like, what new apron?
My face dropped and I realised I'd forgotten it.
But by the next time you see me, if I've not got one, then there will be trouble.
I do apologise.
Because then I wouldn't...
I know.
And I've got to walk around like this, Laura. It's all your fault. So I've just popped in the brown sugar, and then I'm just going to add into that 100 grams of our apple crumble icing sugar.
And a few people have said that they've received their new aprons or their
I know, I've seen the pictures of everybody wearing them, and I'm very jealous.
Fantastic.
Even Maria has got a jacket on.
I know.
And I haven't.
Oh, please stop.
What's this about?
Making me feel terrible.
Well, as long as you know.
I do. Trust me.
Okay, so I've got my butter there, and I'm just going to take that off there. So I'm just making sure that I've got everything ready. So I'm just going to give those sugars a mix together. This is going to be our filling. So we're adding in that sugar, which is going to give us that nice caramelised flavour from the brown sugar, but then we're getting our apple crumble flavouring within that icing sugar and the cinnamon, and it's just going to make it all taste absolutely delicious. So this is taking your cinnamon buns to the next level.
Yeah,
anybody can do cinnamon buns, but when you come in with your apple crumble cinnamon buns,
yeah, you took it up to the next level, definitely.
Next level baking. Okay, so we've got everything ready there. So going back to the dough, I'll tell you what I don't have at home. Normally I have a kid or two around my ankles, but not Maria.
Not Maria with the camera.
Yeah. So we're just going to roll out the dough. Now the dough is very springy, so just take a bit of time. But what we're trying to do is get a sort of rectangle shape. So roughly in the recipe I've put 9 inches by 14 inches. So it's just a guide, but you'll see what we're trying to achieve. So I always find that it's a little bit easier if I just pick up my dough and give it a little shake out and just let the weight of it drop. Then I find when I'm rolling, it just helps it to stretch out that little bit more. So press down quite firmly. I'm just going to take that bracelet off. Stretch it out.
Cat Riley, consider myself told, no buns for Laura.
Yeah. We might end up with at least 24 today, but she's not having one.
Have to grovel.
Okay, so we're getting there. So this is roughly our 9-inch side and then our 14-inch side. So we're just trying to get that nice rectangle shape. And then, sorry, Maria. So as I said before, I'm using a brownie tin, which is here. So I'm just going to have that out ready as well. Just move that. Because in a minute we're going to use some of the butter to grease our tin as well. So you don't need to preheat your oven until after you've made the dough, because after this stage, again, it needs another half an hour to rise again. So once we've messed with it and stretched it, we're just going to give it another half an hour again to rise, so that we're not losing any of that fluffiness from our bread. So take your pastry brush and then pour some of the melted butter on and just spread it all out across. And get it all the way round. Now it's going to seem like a lot of butter, but no one said that these were healthy.
Definitely not. Nice winter cozy night in treat, this,
Yes,
without
definitely.
a doubt.
And then when you've made yourself hot chocolate using the cocoa, cherry or orange cocoa powders to make a lovely hot chocolate, you can sit there with your cinnamon bun and your hot chocolate.
Sounds perfect.
And treat yourself, but again, not Laura.
Not me, not me. Nothing for me today.
Can you see this alright?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, so we're just sprinkling this out and just making sure that it's even. And I'm just going to reserve a little bit of this sugar because I'm going to use some to sprinkle on the top as well. There we go, just a little bit more up at the top. Okay, and then I'm just going to put a drizzle, just use a spoon, more butter across the top. On the wrong side now, Maria. Okay, and then we're going to start from one of the smaller ends. I can't do it the other way round, sorry. And we're just going to do this as tightly as we can. So use that butter to help stick that first turn around. Can you see?
Yeah. I'm just going to move that side.
And we're just going to roll it all the way across, making sure that we're rolling evenly and that all that filling is going with it. Okay, so just keep trying to squeeze it with your fingers and make sure that it's nice and tight. And then when you get to the end, you do need to lift it and then just use a little bit more butter. I'm going to have a clean up in a second, just to do that edge there, and just use it to squish it down. Okay, so you want to get 9 pieces out of this. So I've got a sharp knife somewhere, which is here. So I'm going to bring my tin over and I'm just going to use some of this butter that can you see that?
Yeah.
We're just going to use some of that extra butter that we had just to grease our pan. We're just making sure that we've got it in all the corners. Like so. Oh. And then back to our cinnamon roll. We're just going to chop 9. I was going to go mad now that I'm chopping directly on
on the surface.
I do this at home though, Mum. So we just want 9 nice big pieces. I'll do it gently as I get down so I don't. And then if your edges come out, just try and push them back in. So we're just going to put them in 3 by 3, which works really well in the brownie tin. So as you can see there, as I'm putting them in, you can see our filling.
Can you just pull the tin forward to you?
Huh?
That's it, thank you.
I'm just going to keep packing them in, like so. Oh, I've got no cutting space.
And I can honestly tell you the smell in the kitchen is absolutely incredible. Like Laura said, she's already made some of these this morning in advance so she can show you the finished product, and the smell is absolutely fantastic. And like Laura said before, you can use any of the flavoured icing sugars. Obviously, with it being cinnamon, we've used the apple crumble just so to enhance the flavours a bit.
Yeah, okay, so we're just popping in our last one in there like that. So we've got the 9 pieces in there. So as I said before, we just need to give them a little bit of chance to rise again. So we're just going to wrap them up in cling film. So if you wanted these and you know you've not got time to fully make them and do the rise, then what you could do is get to this stage at night time, wrap them up, and then just leave them wrapped up with the towel over the top. And come down in the morning and then just bake them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
From then. So you've already done all the proving and the rise. You just then can come down and bake them. So after half an hour, you would take the cling film off, take the tea towel off. Take the tea towel off, take the cling film off, just with that little last bit of reserved sugar that we've got there, give it a little sprinkle and then pop it into the oven. So if I was going to bake these in the next half an hour, which I am, I've already put my oven on because I've been using it. So the oven is 180 degrees. I have put on the recipe all the different, I think it's 170 for fan and gas mark 4. So I've put all the different conversions on so that you've got them all. You would just come down, give them a sprinkle of that sugar, pop them in the oven, and 20 to 25 minutes they'll be ready. Okay.
Karen Naylor's just said, could you add raisins into the mix, and if so, at what stage would you add them?
So if you wanted to add raisins or pecans or walnuts or anything like that, you would just add it in at the filling stage. So when you sprinkle in that sugar, sprinkle on your raisins, sprinkle on your nuts. Just make sure that they are not big chunks. You might need to chop them down a little bit just so that when you're rolling it up, they're not all going to pop out and make it too big. So with that, the filling, you are adding more to the filling, so the buns are going to be slightly bigger, but you just add them at that stage with the sugar. So I'm just going to pop that over there, getting a bit of a mess over here. So this is what would come out of the oven. So we've got our cinnamon buns with the sugar all nicely cooked, nice and, I don't know whether you can see that they're nice and soft. Yeah. I'm just going to pop them back in the oven on a very low temperature so that they're nice and hot. I'm just going to leave them in for 5 minutes so that when I've made the cream cheese frosting in a minute, I can take them out and show you how you would serve them. So I'm just going to pop them in there. I'm just going to turn it because it's already warm. So just bear with me a couple of minutes while I just have a quick wipe here because it's a mess. And we'll start with the cream cheese frosting. So I can tell you that the ingredients for the cream cheese frosting is 115 grams of cream cheese, and I think I've used 60 grams of melted butter, which is roughly 3 tablespoons, and the icing sugar is 112 grams. So just one moment, just wash my hands.
So if anyone has either missed any of the beginning of the Facebook Live or can't stay with us for the whole session, just a quick reminder that they are pinned to the Facebook page when we're finished. You can also catch up on YouTube as well. So if you head over to the YouTube page and click the subscribe button, you'll get notifications of when we upload any of the new videos, any new Facebooks, or any of the 1-minute videos that Maria creates. And like I say, you can watch them back at any time, and it's just easy for a reference to refer back to. And also, in terms of the recipe, I know Laura's been through it a couple of times, but again, to refer back to, if you head over to our recipe website, so it's www.sugarandcrumbsmixingitup.com. It's also on the back of the packet of all of the flavoured icing sugar as well. And there is a couple of recipes on the different types of bags. So whether you've got the winter bag, any of the summer bags, or the generic ones, there's different free recipes as well, ready for you to use. Inspiration for the flavoured icing sugars, and just different ideas as well. So again, that's a brilliant in terms of if you've got a couple of flavours that you're not sure of what to use or what to make, head over to the recipe website, and there's absolutely loads of tried and tested recipes on there, and they're absolutely fantastic.
Sorry, running around.
It's alright, I'm just being told off again, so don't worry about it.
What's that for my apron?
Yeah.
Just
I'm
can't
never
get
going to hear the end of this, am I?
Job opportunities are available.
Never going to hear the end of it. What, is that before or after the show's
yeah,
done?
obviously when we finish today. No, she's not that bad. So we're getting ready for our cream cheese frosting. So I just need to move away some of the stuff that we've made, so you don't look and think, what is she doing? Okay, so I've got my butter here, I've got my apple crumble icing sugar, and then I've got the cream cheese here. So just to go through again quickly what we're using, it's 112 grams of cream cheese, 60 grams of softened butter, and 112 grams of the apple crumble icing sugar. Can you see on this?
Yeah, just move the camera slightly.
Okay, so
sorry, we're just making sure that we get all the camera angles right for everybody to see everything.
So 60 grams of softened butter. So this is almost at that stage. I'm just going to give it a quick melt while we measure out our cream cheese. Okay, so let's just reset this. So my mixer's ready. My butter will be ready in a second. My scales don't want to work. Oh, no. There we go. Okay, so 112. So I'm just using own brand cream cheese. You can obviously use whichever one you prefer, but I think for the frosting, this one's fine. And it was quite a large tub that I got as well.
And does it make a difference with it being full fat? Or I know some people have asked that before.
In baking, full fat is always better. I know a lot of people that are on diets think, I'll do lighter cream cheese because I'm on a diet and trying to be better, but to be honest, if you're going to eat this cinnamon bun, forget about the diet, because this is not healthy in any way. So use full fat, you get all the flavour, and it's much nicer. And I think with most things, when it's lighter or less sugar or whatever, it does take away from that end result. It's just never the same. So let's just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you.
So in goes the cream cheese, and then my butter is somewhere. So I've just softened that slightly. So in goes that. And then we need to measure out the icing sugar. So it's 112 grams. Just going to use the end of the bag. Okay, so just give your butter and your cream cheese a quick beat to start off with. And I'm just going to take out those cinnamon buns that I just popped in the oven to warm slightly. My oven was already on. So we'll just get them ready there. So just give that a few minutes. And I'll get nice back now. Add in the icing sugar. I'll do it that way so you can see it. Get it all in. So this is going to go brown because of the cinnamon that's in the apple crumble. So if you was using another flavour of icing sugar, so if you was doing salted caramel or Santa snowball or something like that, it will be white, but this is just going to change slightly because of that cinnamon. So don't panic, I didn't add anything wrong. We just need to make sure that we beat it really well, so it is going to take a minute or so.
So Elaine Lawson's just said she wants to give a quick plug for the ginger and white chocolate flavour, and that's the Santa's Snowball that's been released. So Santa's Snowball is ginger and white chocolate, and Elaine said it's amazing, so get buying everyone. Well, you might have just shot yourself in the foot there, Elaine, because if we sell out, we know it's your fault. Carol Hodges just said her postie's just delivered her order, which is her apron. Oh, okay. She said it's lovely, and she's loving the new pale blue magnet as well. Oh, so anyone who's had their order, this week I think we managed to just about get them all out on Monday. We had already started packing orders when the magnets arrived, so it was a mad dash around any of the parcels that had already been packed before the courier took them. And we had to stick them onto the outside of some of the boxes, but we were trying our best to make sure everyone got them.
So just to speed up again, here's one I made earlier, just while we're waiting. I'm just going to leave that on low because I have got quite a lot of cinnamon buns that are in the process of being made, so I might as well finish them all to the end, so I am going to need that. But I have made already some of the cream cheese frosting in here.
Knock that down a little bit for me. That's it, wonderful.
So as you can see, it has got a little brown tint to it. That's just because of that cinnamon flavour in the apple crumble, so don't worry about that. So you've got your frosting, you've got your cinnamon buns here. Turn that down so you can hear all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all you're going to do is take your pastry brush and then just let it coat the top of your cinnamon bun, and this just adds a nice creaminess to your cinnamon bun. And because they're already slightly warm as well, it's just going to melt into all those little cracks that you can, well, not cracks, but you know, the roll. So it's going to go inside. So obviously the cream cheese frosting is optional, you don't have to have it, it's just I wanted to show you what else you could do.
Yeah, I suppose you could use just like a glaze, couldn't you? Just with a bit of icing sugar
Yeah,
and
you could
water,
just,
or
yeah,
you know,
just add a
something
little
like
bit
that.
of make your own little sugar syrup with the flavouring if you wanted to. But I just think the creaminess of this cream cheese it's just really nice. So you're just gonna carry on and use all that up.
And like I said before, the smell in this kitchen today is absolutely amazing. Elaine Morton says she's drooling.
I know I am. I can't wait till me and Maria have one.
Cheers.
So I'm just going to pop one out of here. So you can just use a knife, or I'm just using a palette knife just to separate the cinnamon buns. And I'm just going to lift one out. Oh. So you can see.
Wow, they look fantastic.
So as you can see, we've got a nice, I'll give that a little squish there. You can see that it's nice and soft. Just get that knife in there. Chop it up for me and Maria now. So when you open it up there, you can see the different layers, the filling, and it smells absolutely amazing. Oh, can't wait to eat that from Maria later. So there you go, that's how you make your cinnamon buns.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Honestly, there's the amount of comments here of people who are going to make them and said that they look fantastic. And a couple of people have just said though, when they've done their cream cheese frosting, it always seems to be too thin.
Too thin? Well then, the best way to do it is, if it's too thin, is to start with the cream cheese and the icing sugar, and just melt your butter and slowly add it in, so you get the consistency that you want, because it's the butter that makes it the more runny consistency. Because when we mix cream cheese and icing sugar, it's roughly the same amount that you're using cream cheese to icing sugar, so you're getting that nice thickness and the butter's just loosening it up. So if you do it that way, icing sugar and cream cheese first, and just pour in that butter slowly, then it should get to the consistency that you want it to be.
Fantastic, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to take this off because, as I said before, I wasn't sure how long it would take me to show you all the steps of the cinnamon buns, and I just wanted to add a little extra thing in. It's just a little recipe, and it uses that extra egg white that we had earlier. I've got some in the freezer now, so I will show you what it is that I'm going to quickly make for you. So just bear with me a second. Okay, so when I'm at home and I'm baking, I always end up with things that are extra. So in the cinnamon bun recipe, I've got an extra egg white. And instead of just throwing it away, I was thinking, what else could I make that's quick and easy just to use that extra egg white? And I thought about making these peppermint creams. Whether you can see them there.
Yeah, lovely.
So peppermint creams are just a little creamy sweet, I suppose. They're very easy to make. My daughter loves them, and she makes them quite often because I have that extra egg white, and it is just a quick and easy recipe. So I'm just going to quickly make it just as a little added extra for today. They do need about 4 hours in the fridge to set, but I haven't had that time, so you have to excuse that they're just on plates. I came in and I was just rushing to do it so that we could show you. So this is roughly what you're going to make, but I've just done a quick sample to show you. So they're like peppermint creams, but today we're going to make them using the toasted marshmallow flavour, and it's just another little idea for Christmas gifts. If you like making your homemade gifts, it's just a quick recipe. They last for about 5 days to a week. You just keep them in a box, put them in the fridge. Once they're set, they don't stick together. So I'm just going to show you how to make them. So what you need is your egg white and another mixing bowl. Sorry, Maria, it's a clean one. We've got another paddle.
Do you need a paddle? Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, we'll just find a paddle. So the recipe is 1 egg white, 400 grams of icing sugar, and a little bit of lemon juice. Thank you. So let me just grab my recipe up. So this recipe is not online at the moment, but it will be when I leave today. So it's just the 3 ingredients. So a clean bowl there. Yeah. Okay. So just anybody that's not following what I've just said that I'm doing, because I'm just adding on to the end of the apple crumble cinnamon buns, I'm just going to make you a quick peppermint cream so you can see how to make them, but I'm not doing peppermint flavour. I'm going to do the Santa Snowball, which is
marshmallow.
Oh, toasted marshmallow. Okay, so to start off with, we need 400 grams of the icing sugar. So I'm just going to weigh that out there. So there's no actual cooking of the egg. What we're using is the lemon juice. The acidity from the lemon juice makes the egg safe to eat. There's a science behind it. And I've had a lot of these. And I've been absolutely fine. So I know people get a little bit worried when they're doing things with egg whites and things like that, but as long as your eggs are fresh and you're adding in the lemon juice, then you're absolutely fine. Okay, so we've got our 3 ingredients there. So 400 grams of icing sugar, 1 egg white, and I've just got a lemon here which I've just halved so I can use some of the juice. So we're going to pop the egg white into the mixing bowl. And I'm just going to put that on. We're just looking to get that egg white to foam slightly. Where it's just foaming. We don't want to make it into an actual egg white with stiff peaks. So I'm just going to add in to that a squeeze. Did my pip just go in? I think my pip just went in for a moment. So a squeeze of lemon juice. Let me just grab a spoon. So as I said, when you live, this is sort of thing that happens. Yeah, my pip's in there. Don't want any pips.
Hi Michelle Ahern. Yeah, your order is on its way to you. So Michelle's one of our customers who orders from the USA, and she's very patient because it's tough, because by the time we've given her a quote for the shipping and things like that, some things go out of stock, and then she's very patient in waiting. But it's definitely on its way to you at the moment. So hopefully it won't be too long before you get everything.
Okay, so sorry about this, I've got pips in. I did take the pips out of one side of the lemon, and that's not the side that I used. So make sure you take your pips out. Okay, so let's pop the egg white back in there. I've just put it through a sieve just to make sure it's not in there. So I'm just going to put my phone back in. We'll just cut that out of the 1 minute video.
Well, this is what happens. It's a home kitchen,
yeah.
and this is the thing that, you know,
this
we try
happens to me all the time, especially with eggshells. I always get a bit of eggshell in.
We try to reiterate to people, you know, this is a normal home kitchen.
I'm a very normal person.
And although
not professional in any way.
Sugar and Crumbs as a company, obviously the products that we sell is a professional brand, but these are free tutorials for anybody to enjoy, anybody to watch. watch and enjoy. You don't have to try it, but you know, we have a lot of followers who really do appreciate this. And as we say, it's always a free tutorial, and we have lots and lots of different guests who come in and, you know, give us their time very, very kindly, and it is very much appreciated.
Yeah, this is just a tutorial from our kitchen to yours. So this is what we're all about. And we make mistakes, we're only human. Okay, so I've got my egg white. I've just got it to the stage where it's foamed, and I've added in a little bit of lemon juice, which is going to stop that egg making a nuzzle. So I'm just going to pour in the icing sugar, and I'm just going to use the spatula to bring it together. Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah, great.
So we're just using the liquid of the egg white to bring it together. So I'm just giving it a little mix, and then I'm going to pop it back on the mixer because it's a lot quicker than I can work. So prepare for a dust storm. So you don't have to colour your creams, you can just have them white. That's what colour they'd be using, the flavour that we're using today. Bear in mind that if you're using apple crumble or cinnamon swirl, you are going to get that slight colour from the cinnamon in there. So I'm going to colour mine pink today, so I've just got using the Colour Splash raspberry, and I'm just going to add it in a drop, and then I'm going to use this little cutter. So we do the Colour Splash range on the Sugar and Crumbs website, and we also do a set of these cutters. I think there's about 5 in the set.
I think there might be
5 or 6 in the
yeah.
set. $2.99. You get the round edge and then the fluted edge on each one, so you've got the option to do different types. So they're $2.99, are they?
I think so, yeah, for a set of 6, a cake star range.
Yeah. So if you need a little bit more liquid, then you can add in just a touch more lemon juice without it. Because the icing sugars are quite a strong flavour, that lemon juice isn't taking anything away from the flavouring. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of colouring at this stage. It's just starting to come together. I'm just going to put in a drop. There. Once it's got to this stage where it's all starting to turn into a dough, that's when we're going to take it out. So I'm just going to remove some of that there. So all you need ready to hand is your little cutter. So if you wanted to do them for Valentine's Day, you could use a heart cutter, Christmas, snowflake cutters, whatever you want. But these are a great little cutter. You've got 2 little options on there so you can mix it up. So you just need a little bit of icing sugar on your workspace. Just before I go back to the creams, I just wanted to show you after half an hour what you should expect your cinnamon buns to look like after that second rise. That's what they'll look like, and you just need to unwrap them, as I said. Make sure that your oven has been preheated to 180 degrees, and then use some of that reserved sugar just to give it another sprinkle on top. Like that, and pop them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. You just want them to have a nice golden colour on the edges. So we'll pop those in. Okay, so Have we got a few people back
Yeah,
with us?
we've got a few people coming back. So,
Yeah, so-
Ella and Carol are watching. Hi.
So sorry about that again. We had a problem with the feed and it went off, but we're back. So I'll just quickly show you these. So I have rolled out, I was mid-rolling out the creams. So I've made toasted marshmallow creams here. So I've cut one out already. And that's the kind of thickness that you want. Like I say, you can use any cutter that you want to, but I'm using this one today. So I'm just going to do a few on the fluted side and a few round ones so you can see. So like I said, you can colour these how you want as well. Very simple, easy recipe, and it just makes a nice quick little treat. So I'll just cut a few out there. So once they're cut out, you just need to put them on a tray, pop them in your refrigerator for about 3 to 4 hours for them to set fully. And there you go. So I'm just cutting out a few more. So again, just to quickly go over the recipe for those, that is 1 egg white that you foam up in a mixer. Add in about a teaspoon of lemon juice, 400 grams of the icing sugar that you've chosen to put in. Let it combine together, add in a little bit of colouring. When it gets to the point where it's turned into a dough, take it out and hand roll it, and then roll it out to the thickness that you want. There. And that is that. So a few things that I need to say just before we go. Again, quickly, Monday night we've got Suzanne Esper joining us to do a demo on the Evil Cake Genius stencil. So that's 8 PM on Monday night. Next Thursday we're not going to be in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen because Sugar and Crumbs is going on tour, and we will be at Cake and Bake in London. So it's from start Friday?
Yeah.
Friday next week till Sunday. So if you're in London or in the area or you go in, make sure you pop by the stand and say hello. I think Carol's going to try and do a few mini little live feeds just to show you what's going on, what's happening there, and that's it really. So thank you for joining me today. While we did have that little drop-in feed, I did have a taste of one of my cinnamon buns and they were amazing. I do say so myself. So I hope you give it a go. Again, with the creams, it's just another little idea for you to try. So I hope that you've enjoyed it today. Thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.